In 2020, the world was shutting down. COVID had us all cooped up at home, disconnected from normal life. For an avid backpacker like me, the lockdown was suffocating. Camping became my escape, my way to find peace. One of those escapes took me to Rocky Mountain National Park in Colorado. A creekside camping spot, miles away from the chaos of the world, seemed like the perfect sanctuary. But little did I know, this trip wouldn't bring peace. It would leave me questioning everything. I arrived at the park in the late afternoon. The snow-covered ground crunched under my boots as I hiked up to the creek. It was eerily quiet. The world felt frozen, literally and figuratively. Not a soul in sight. Most people were still locked indoors, taking the pandemic restrictions seriously. I wasn't. After setting up my tent in a secluded spot near the creek, I started a fire, cooked some food and dove into a book. The stillness was comforting. Until my phone vibrated in my jacket pocket. A text from an unknown number. "How's your camping going, buddy?" I froze, staring at my screen. My family rarely texts me, and I didn't share my location with anyone. For a second, I told myself it was a random coincidence. But then came a second text. "It's beautiful out here." My stomach dropped. And then the third. "I see why you came up here." My heart raced. I typed back, "Who is this?" My hands were trembling as I sent the message. No response. I looked around, turning my headlamp in every direction. The woods stretched on endlessly, the darkness growing thicker with every passing minute. Paranoia settled in. Were the texts just a prank, or was someone really out there? As the fire burned lower, I crawled into my tent, clutching my gun for comfort. My plan was simple: stay awake, stay alert. But as the minutes dragged on, silence weighed heavier and heavier. And then it came, the sound of footsteps, crunching in the snow. They were slow, deliberate, and getting closer. My breath hitched as I turned off my headlamp. I sat frozen, clutching my gun tightly. The footsteps stopped just outside my tent. The silence was suffocating, and then, flash! A burst of light illuminated the fabric of my tent. It wasn't a flashlight, it was like someone took a picture. My phone buzzed in my pocket. The message was a photo of my tent, followed by, "Have a good night's sleep." Adrenaline flooded my system. The fear I'd been holding back exploded into anger. Without thinking, I unzipped the tent, firing 2 shots into the air. The sound of footsteps running away through the snow sent a chill down my spine. Whoever it was had been hiding, watching me. I screamed into the darkness, daring them to come back, but deep down, I was terrified. That night, I didn't sleep. Every sound, every whisper of the wind made my heart race. I stayed inside the tent, gripping my gun until the first rays of sunlight broke through the trees. When morning came, it was a relief I couldn't describe. I packed up as quickly as I could and left. It's been 5 years now. Whoever was out there never texted me again, and I haven't been harassed since. But that night haunts me, because for all my preparation, all my gear, I wasn't ready for that. If you've ever had an unexplainable experience in the wilderness, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your story.